And we're going to now ask Mr. Tim Culp, who is the Executive Director of the Texas City Marque Chamber of Commerce, to come forward and lead us in this discussion. Mr. Culp.
Thank you, Mayor Bell. Appreciate it. Y'all can give the mayor a big round of applause because he's doing a pretty good job. I'm going to tell you that. Mandy, I'm going to sit this up here. Am I doing a good job putting that there? Are you hearing us now? Awesome, awesome. Well, again, we're glad to have each and every one of you here. I was visiting with many of you as you came in the room and talking to you about your individual businesses and your goals, some of your goals and objectives for your own entrepreneurship. And I can tell you that it's exciting. This is what I enjoy most about my job. You as small business owners looking to either, maybe you've been in business for 6 months, maybe a year, maybe you've got a brainstorming an idea, and I know there's some of you in this room that just you've got that idea in the back of your mind that you feel like you may have something that the community can use as a whole. How do you grow that? How does that blossom? How does that develop? And so that's what we're here to do tonight, and I am very excited about it. I've been doing Chamber of Commerce work for a little over 30 years. But prior to getting into the chamber, I was just like you. I was a small business owner. I started out as a one-man shop doing medical equipment. We provided durable medical equipment to about a 250-mile radius around my hometown. I know what it feels like to be sitting in a room like this wondering, what in the world am I going to do? Is this idea even going to possibly work? And we grew that from, I tell people this story, I had $1,000. I had two wheelchairs, 3 hospital beds, and an oxygen machine. That's what I started. I won't divulge all the information, but I can tell you this: when we sold that business 15 years later, we had 10 employees that were working for us, and we were able to make a nice sale on that building and that business. And when we grew that, and we did that over about a 15-year period. And actually, that's how I got involved in chamber work. I was part of the Chamber of Commerce. I got involved. I got dedicated. And what does that mean? What is a Chamber of Commerce? Quite frankly, we are the one organization that works daily on the behalf of our members. We like to consider ourselves your least paid but yet most productive employee. We are a membership organization. I'll tell you that straight up. We are a membership organization that pays membership dues, but it's also ran by volunteers. Our entire board of directors here at the Texas City Marque Chamber of Commerce is made up of 30 individuals that represent their own individual businesses. I was visiting earlier and we were talking, one of the business ideas was they needed to have contact with the Port of Texas City. They want to do some business with them. Our chairman next year will be Ramiro Barbara, who is the president of the Port of Texas City. So to give you an example, I can't think of a better example to give than the one that was just brought up earlier, is we're going to be able to make that connection that otherwise you as an individual may not be able to make on your own. You just may not know the person to talk to. But what you can do is you can come to our chamber meetings and the events that we have. I think the last number that I heard was something around 65 events that we host throughout the year of different types. It may be a luncheon, it may be a golf tournament. There's an array of different events that we do, but it gives us the opportunity to connect you with someone that otherwise you may not have that opportunity to do, or have that opportunity to connect with. The resources that you're going to find here today, and the wonderful speakers and the information that you're going to find out, that's a part of our connecting the puzzle pieces. I like to say that we just have a great big puzzle and we never get it put together. We're always moving the pieces around to make that connection. Chambers of Commerce have been around since the late 1700s. They started actually over in England, and then they moved over here in the United States. The first Chamber of Commerce, as you might imagine, was actually formed in New York City. And so, again, the idea behind us is we want to advance the economic prosperity of our local community. We like to consider ourselves a problem solver. If there's a problem going on within our communities, we want to try to help solve that initiative and solve that problem. And there's no better way to do that than with the businessmen and women of that community, because you're the one that's putting back into the blood, sweat, and tears, the dollars back into that community. You're hiring individuals to come in to work for you to help you grow your business and to help you be successful. We want to help you make those connections within the chamber is how we do that. You should have all received. If you didn't, please make sure that you pick up one of these packets out in the front on the front foyer. If you didn't get one, there's a lot of information in here. I'm not going to go through every bit of this. We do have everybody on a time clock, and those folks in the back know that if I get a microphone, I could talk all night long and eat up all this time, and they're like, nope, we're not going to let him do that. So they did put me on a clock. But just to kind of give you some examples, a lot of the stuff that you can get when you become a member or a part of the Chamber of Commerce is there's some free marketing opportunities for you. A lot of those you'll find in that packet that we have there. The other piece is that we're constantly working to promote your business. So again, especially as a startup, we can help connect you and do some marketing pieces for you that will be either in some cases no charge or a very minimal charge to be able to advertise and tell people about your business. The other thing that we do, and again, it's the fun part of my business, and I mentioned to some of you earlier, is you've got an idea. You think you know something that you want to start, a business venture that you would like to get into. What we like to do is we like to just be a sounding board. So schedule a time, come in, sit down, visit with us, talk to us, and let's just be a sounding board. And we're very transparent here, and we're going to push back a little and make you think about the decisions and the thought processes that you're having. And then we're going to encourage you, once you make that decision that you want to move forward with that particular business venture, we're going to encourage you and try to help, again, be that connector of those puzzle pieces that we talked about. Marketing piece is a big part of what we do. Networking is a huge piece. We've got different programs, from our ambassador program, which we call the Chamber Champs, to just our regular monthly luncheons. Again, those opportunities you get to network with folks. The other thing that we do a lot of is advocacy. We advocate on your behalf as a small business owner. What does that mean? What that means is that we're looking at legislation that might be taking place on the local level, at the county level, at the state level, and at the federal level. And we're monitoring those decisions that those lawmakers are making, and how is it going to impact and how is it going to affect business. If it's going to affect business in a positive way, then we're going to get behind it. We're going to endorse that situation or that piece of legislation or that idea that maybe even council is considering. But if it's going to adversely affect business, then we're going to be opposed to that. And we're going to voice that opinion based on what our members tell us, okay? And so, again, we represent you as an organization. And so, again, we're going to advocate on your behalf. And so I'm excited about today. Again, I could go through every little bitty piece of the information that we have here, but the charge today was to inform you and maybe give you just a little bit of information of why you should be a part of our organization. Right now you see our website. I'm not going to go through all of this pieces because we would be here again all night long, but you can see the different pieces that we go through: membership, events, resources, visiting our communities. If you've got people we like to attract those visitors, because we know when people come to our community and they eat in our restaurants and they sleep in our hotels and they fill up with gas, what's that doing? I like to call it, and I think the mayor would agree with me, that's free money. That's free money that we get into our community when people come and do that. And they spend those dollars here. Those are the kinds of things that we will help with as we go along. So I'm not going to open it up for too many questions. Are we going to do questions and answers? We're going to do questions now, or we're going to do it at the end? We decided to do it at the end? Okay, I couldn't remember. So we'll do questions, the Q&A at the end. But thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part. We're excited. I hope to sit down and get an opportunity to visit with each and every one of you and talk to you about your own individual business as we go along. So I'm going to move on down our list here. I think I have I was voluntold that I was going to get to be the MC for this event, if you will. And so, but that's fine. I like doing this. Kathleen Van Starven, the Director of Development Services for the City of Lamarque, is going to come up to us and talk about those benefits. So, Kathleen?
How's everyone? First, I want to thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. My name is Kathleen Van Stavern, and as you said, I am the Director of Development Services for the City of Lamarque. I'm not sure if people understand what development services is, but actually what we are is we're a department in the city that you come to if you have a dream of a business, if you have an idea, if you just had someone tell you, hey, you ought to do this, come see us, come talk to us, and we'll help walk you through it. My department consists of the development and permitting, so it's kind of a one-stop shop. You come in, we'll talk to you, we'll meet with you, we'll help guide you through the processes of permitting or platting or zoning or whatever it is you happen to want to do, and guide you through it to make it as simple and as quick as it possibly can. One of the biggest things we do is that we have pre-development meetings. Those meetings are where we have city staff, we have our city engineer, we have our fire marshal, we have myself, we have the EDC director, and we all meet with you. We go through the zoning, we go through everything. You tell us what you want to do, and we help walk you through what you'll need to get there. We're the beginning. If you think, I just don't think I can do that there, I think it's too complicated, give me a call or give us a call. We'll help you. That's what we're here for. We want you. We want small businesses, large businesses. If you just want to open a coffee shop, call us. Because we're here to help you. Don't look at us as just permitting or somebody that's just, trying to drag business into the city, because we're not. We want you to prosper. We want to get that dream to come true for you. And we have a lot of people that come and talk to us, and they just want to say, hey, I'm thinking about something. And I said, tell us what your idea is. Let us help you with that. We can expand on it. Maybe we can help you find property somewhere. We can give you all the forms you need. We can explain zoning to you. We can explain the building regulations to you. But that's what we're here for. If we can do it on a one-on-one basis, you can call me. My cards are at the front. And I'll be happy to talk to you, or you can email me. If you want to say, Kathleen, I know it's probably a stupid idea, but I want to open up a hot dog stand. I said, okay, let's do it. Just tell me where you want to do it, and we'll talk about it. Permitting is all done in the same office. We've streamlined our permitting department now so that if you submit your plans and reviews and everything's normally turned around within 10 days. Our inspections are pretty much on a 24-hour turnaround on those. So we're trying to do everything to help anyone with a small business or large business to come to Lamarque, to make it as easy and as welcoming as we possibly can. You're going to do questions at the end?
Yep.
I'll be available if you'd like to ask me any questions concerning the development process, or if you have an idea right now tonight, talk to me about it. And I'll set you a meeting with the PDM meeting so you can come and sit and talk with everyone from the city. But that's about all I have. Thank you so much. There's also 3 government forms back here if anybody wants one.
I don't want some of the stuff that she just said to go unnoticed. Now now I'm putting on my full chamber hat. The opportunity I get to kind of connect those pieces. Don't miss out on what Kathleen just said about the fact of the permitting side and the turnaround side. Those time frames, 10 days and 24 hours inspections, those are phenomenal numbers. I mean, and so again, most of you, if you're a home-based business, one of these days you're going to want to get out on your own and get in your own building. If you're looking for a building currently, you're going to want to have those conversations. You're going to have those conversations at some point in time with the city to know that you're, number one, you're putting the business in the proper location, and that your everything meets the code, and that's for safety. And so again, those turnaround numbers, that's phenomenal. So 10 days and 24 hours. I can tell you, there's lots of cities around us that do not function that rapidly. So that's great to have that kind of a turnaround. So again, Kathleen, I appreciate you. I appreciate the work that you guys do. That always isn't the fun place to go because the people have made it out to be, but folks like that make it a good place to go and visit and to be able to share your ideas. So hats off to you. With that, I'm going to introduce introduce to you the director of the Lamarque Economic Development Corporation and a good friend, Alex Getty. Alex also serves on our board of directors here at the Chamber of the Texas City Lamarque Chamber of Commerce. So Alex, let's talk about EDC.
All right, thank you, Tim. Where'd the clicker go? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Appreciate the introduction. Thank you, Mayor, for your support of this, and we're hopeful that it'll be beneficial. I'm going to throw a lot of information at you in about the next 15 minutes or so. I have cards back there, and we'll have a Q&A at the end, and I'll try to answer some questions that you do have as well. My name is Alex Getty. I'm the Executive Director of the Marque Economic Development Corporation. I think I had a chance to meet each one of you on your way in and kind of get a feel for who we have in the audience and what you're trying to do. So some of these slides I'll kind of walk through quicker than others because I think based upon the audience what you're wanting to know, we'll try to do that. I am from Lamarque. I've been serving in this position for 14 years now. It's a wonderful job. It's a wonderful city, and what I like about it is every day is a little bit different. You never know who you're going to connect with, who's going to walk through the door, what idea you're going to hear. It's just really a lot of fun to talk with entrepreneurs about their ideas. It excites me because when you're talking to people who are passionate about something, it's just a lot of fun. It's contagious. So a little bit about the EDC before I go to the next slide. We are a government nonprofit corporation. I like to say that we're first cousins or closer to the city of Lamarque. What I mean by that is I work for the corporation. I work for a board of 5. My board is appointed by city council. And we have a city councilman here with us tonight, Mr. Ross. Obviously, mayor is here as well. And so, that's kind of how it works in a nutshell. I work for the board. The board is appointed by council. And our job is to try to create wealth, essentially, for the city. A little bit of history about economic development in Lamarque. We were originally the Lamarque Industrial Development Corporation. We were incorporated in 1982. But not much happened then because there was no funding mechanism. It wasn't until a few legislative sessions later that it was approved for municipalities to go to the voters and get a corporation or the half-cent sales tax at that time approved. And so May 7th, 1990, the voters approved it in Lamarque. We were one of the first municipalities to approve the half-cent sales tax, and we've been working on that ever since. I think year one, it generated about $300,000 to $350,000. The half-cent sales tax did. Here's our mission statement. It was originally approved in 2013, I believe. It was actually approved again this morning. We were working on some mission, vision, goals, statement stuff. And I'll just read it for you here. The primary goal of Lamarque Economic Development Corporation is to assist in the development of a strong, diversified economy for the city of Lamarque. This can be accomplished with a multifaceted approach that consists of efforts that help promote business retention, business expansion, and business recruitment. And so we're firing on some of those cylinders tonight. But what is it, Alex? I understand it's funded. We got a half-cent sales tax, and that's great. But really, what is it? So I borrowed this quick definition from the Texas Economic Development Council, which we have a slide in a couple minutes, a little bit more about who they are. But it's the intentional practice of improving a community's economic well-being and quality of life. So that it covers a lot of ground. You could spend a few minutes breaking that down. But for the Economic Development Corporation of Lamarque, we're trying to find projects that are beneficial and meaningful to our community. And we're really looking at 3 things that are the most important. Capital investment. So let's say you take a piece of property that doesn't have any infrastructure or a building, and so you're just getting the ad valorem tax of the property itself. You put a new building on it, there's a lift there on the ad valorem side, but also true, maybe you have a dilapidated structure that you want to improve and again lift the tax roll. So capital investment, job creation is paramount. We want to be able to create jobs. We want to tie any sales tax dollars that we provide to jobs. And last but not least is sales tax. That's how we're funded, and we'll touch on that here in a second. It includes a broad range of activities to retain, create, and attract jobs. It is helping to build new infrastructure and real estate opportunities to improve a community. A couple of examples, the EDC in Lamarque brought water and sewer to the west side of I-45 years ago. That opened up the west side for development, all right? We didn't necessarily have a specific thing that drove that at that time, but it was very necessary and needed, and then now you see what all's happening over there. I like to say that we're good at things that are 6 inches tall and shorter. We're able to build infrastructure is what I mean by that. So one project that we did, we built Fleming Extension, water, sewer, paving, and drainage that brought in mainland Kawasaki. Again, they fire on all 3 cylinders that I just mentioned: capital investment, job creation, sales tax. And out of that, we got a bonus. So a few years later, we got Team Mancuso Power Sports located there because the infrastructure was there, etc. Those are 2 high sales tax drivers for our community. And so those are kind of projects that we do and why, but we do much more. Some of the core activities, and this is not a comprehensive list, this is just a few of the things that we do. Business expansion and business retention and expansion, I've touched on that. We want businesses that are in Lamarque to stay in Lamarque. And if they don't stay in Lamarque, we certainly want them to stay in our area. So we want, some of these businesses are regional. You know, just because they're not in Lamarque doesn't mean they don't impact Lamarque in a positive way. So we want to try to retain the businesses that we have, and it's a lot easier to retain a business than it is to recruit a new one. Marketing and recruitment, don't want to steal any of Mandy's thunder. She's going to have some slides on marketing in a minute. We do a lot to try to promote Lamarque, to let people know what our assets are and what our opportunities are. Strategic planning, not just a strategic plan like the 2015 to 2022 plan that the city had and we worked on, but strategic planning, like we need to look at where we need infrastructure. We need to look at putting these properties together to make them highest, best use for our community. So there's a lot of things that we sit back and think about. What are some things that we can do strategically in order to improve our community to have more and better businesses down the road? A little bit of forecasting. We look at the opportunities in the climate as well. Small business development, this is one thing, but there are other things that we do. But our job, just like many other of the speakers tonight, are try to connect you to resources, whether it's a link or whether it's a connection with a person, because those are important. Networking is very important. So that's some of the things that we do. Connect people to jobs and projects. In the last year or so, we've tried to help existing Lamarque businesses find employees that are qualified, what they want to do, and that helps the business in Lamarque. It helps that person, again, just connecting folks. And then last but not least, education. We spend a lot of time educating about Lamarque and who we are and what we do, and here's some resources and things just like this, but it's not always in a setting like this. We're always teaching and educating. So I mentioned TEDC a little bit earlier. This is me with board member Tracy Steens and longtime president of the TEDC, Carlton Schwab. And I put this slide in here to let you know that we practice best practices in Lamarque. We do a lot of things well. Are we perfect? Not even close. But we try really hard to do well. And we've won a few awards a few years in a row for that. We're one of 15 of about 1,000 members that have received this award the last 6 years running. And so we're proud of that. And that's the importance of this slide, to know when you're working with us, connecting with us, we're trying to go about things the right way. I was talking to a couple of you, and this slide will fit right in with what you were looking for, because you want to know about the growth and what's happening in Lamarque. And this is one of the drivers. We've had record sales tax for the last 6 years in a row. One of the drivers is, for the last decade, Lamarque has just been blowing up. I mean, we are the second fastest growing city in the county. We have been for a long time. And where it all started was with Painted Meadows there in the middle. So we worked with the developer. We actually owned the real estate at Marque EDC. We sold the real estate to the developer. The city ultimately ended up setting up a PID. Does anybody know what a PID is? Doreen does. So that's a public improvement district, and basically what that is, it's a financing tool to help pay for the water, sewer, paving, and drainage to help mitigate the risk, if you will, for a developer. So they're going to get paid back over time. You've probably heard MUD. There's a little difference in a PID and a MUD. MUD can continue to take on debt. Once the debt is paid off from the PID, it goes away. And so that's what we had here. And it's kind of like hitting in baseball. It's contagious. So before Painted Meadows came along, Lamarque was starving for residential development. We hadn't had it. We were trying to get it, couldn't get it. But as soon as the city worked with developer of Painted Meadows, then we saw Delaney Cove come. That was a Lennar development, largest home builder at the time in America. Saltgrass Crossing came, Sunset Grove, and now we have Trails at Woodhaven Lakes that just kicked off. And so when all those are done, we'll have roughly 2,500 to 3,000 new homes, new stock in Lamarque, and that is really helping to drive. And so this next slide really sums it up. We were very proud and excited when these numbers came out because it was the first time we made the list. So second quarter of the year, we were named one of the 10 hottest communities in the Houston area, and you see on the map there, the only one south of downtown. And this is year over year. I'm surprised we hadn't made it before. When I saw the numbers, I'm like, I think we've met that before. But we're glad to make it now. But anyway, the result is Marque is growing and thriving and doing really well. A couple projects. Just got a couple more slides here, then we'll walk through some websites that I think might be beneficial for some of the conversations that I heard us have before the meeting. We're working on a Renaissance district. We talked about strategic planning just a little bit. This is another example of that. Well, we worked through the Texas Coastal Watershed Program through Texas A&M University a few years ago. We had stakeholder meetings. We worked with the community and different public meetings to find out what is the vision for downtown Lamarque. And so out of that came this plan, and these are some of the things that we've done. This is what the building will look like right now. If you go and drive through downtown Lamarque, if you haven't been in a while, there's been a lot of improvements. We'll take a look at those on the next slide, but this will be the EDC office. It looks a little bit different now. It was originally built in 1959. It was the flagship bank for Guaranty Federal Bank, and it was very well built. We're glad to have it, and it kind of stimulated some of the other things that you see going on now. But our goal is to make it more walkable, bikeable, pedestrian friendly, making a greater economic engine for small businesses in Lamarque, and that's why it's important. But here's some other things we're doing. Top left, that's another building that we own that we're renovating concurrently with our building. It is currently fully occupied. We've got El Lugar, which is an event center, and we've got Innovation Safety Solutions, which is a support business for industry. Very glad to have both of those. Top right is 401 Laurel. That's where Art of Coffee is. We do have space on the end cap. We got about 2,700 square feet there. We are looking, and actually the board voted this morning for me to get some quotes to build out the inside, make it more of just a ready-to-go space. It'll still need some things, but sheetrock, lighting, flooring, those kind of things. So that's in the works. I picked that picture because our intersection pavers, for those who haven't seen them, they've turned out really nice, and it's a compass that's oriented to true north. And that was, I think, the last day or very close to when they were about to finish that. Turned out good. You can see how it did on the bottom left. And then the bottom right is just a picture. We got all fired up the first night. The lights burned, and so we went out there and took a bunch of pictures and all that. So anyway, it's fun to work in your hometown downtown, and that's I'm passionate about it and I'm excited about it. And there's Mandy. I warned her that she was on here. So we're always trying to think of innovative ways that we can help small businesses in Lamarque. And so for those of you that I talked to tonight who are ready to open a business, once you get open, this is something that we want to try to do for you. We created it just this year in about June. We didn't know of anyone else that we'd ever heard of that had done one. I think we've had 7 recipients now. Top right is Evelyn George with Evelyn's Alterations, longtime Lamarque downtown business. Great lady. Bottom right is Kenny Blakeney and his business, Laser Marine, there at I-45. And so those are just 3 that have taken advantage. We actually approved one this morning. I say we, the board approved one this morning. We're excited about that. So we're going to continue to push this, and I'll show you how to find it on our website here in a minute. And I would be remiss, this really doesn't have anything to do with anything except for I wanted to make sure y'all know about Bayou Fest on Saturday. And so I apologize for this slide, but so we've got Amanda Solis coming. She's doing a really great job. She's a Texas City native. I've seen her twice this year already. She puts a high energy show out. She's a Selena tribute artist, and she does a lot of good things there. Wayne Toops will be in the second slot. He's a Grammy Award winner. He has a Zyda Cajun feel. If you've never seen him, it's dance music, exciting stuff. A lot of people love Wayne. And then we've got Neil McCoy, 2-time Entertainer of the Year. He's really excited to be out there, and we're looking forward to it. It's all free, and so come out, enjoy yourselves, please. It's a way, particularly when you're thinking about opening a business in Lamarque, come check us out. This is a little taste of what Lamarque has to offer, and so I'll just leave that real quick while I get my mouse. Oh yeah, she took care of me. Yeah, she put it over here. So we'll get the websites up. I've just got 4 things to show you real quick, and then I'll be done. So this is going to be old hat to some. I know Doreen's going to know all about this, but this is a tool that I use every day. This is the Galveston Central Appraisal District website. It's a great source for a lot of different things. What I use most is the mapping capabilities. Okay, the website recently changed, but you go here for the interactive map. It'll ask you to say OK. And there's all kind of layers on here. The world imagery works pretty good. But what I primarily use it for is try to figure out who owns a piece of property, or maybe did it change hands? Maybe it did, and I can look at the deed records. But once we get into a certain level here, and I'll go to the Central Fire Station on the west side. This is 1765 and 2004. You'll see a number there on the map, but then you'll see it's here as well. Tells you who the owner is, the home address if it's different than the actual physical location. But then on the situs here, it will show you the physical address, and that's helpful. But you can go and use this number, the 601143 number. Go to property search. And you can click on that and you can get some additional information. The taxing entities, what year a building was built might be important for you. This one doesn't show it, but it'll show the deed records. So you can see the last 3 deeds typically. We'll do one more really quickly. So let's look at this one, 601140. Tells you who owns it, and I pulled this one up because it has the last 4 deeds on this one, so you can kind of track, and it gives you the volume and page number if you want to look at the county clerk's website and that sort of thing. So that's that one. Another one that you may be interested in, again, Doreen's going to know all about this, but this is LoopNet. I've got Lamarque queued in here so you see the city limits of Lamarque. You can zoom in and toggle between a bunch of different things, but if you're looking for for lease space, you can do that, or a for sale space. You can kind of click around, and then you can click on the actual deal. You can get the property flyer, etc. So that's always nice. And then back to the city website, I'm going to show you a couple of things that the EDC has. So you go to departments here on the main page, economic development. We've got several resources like LoopNet. We have our own database. This is new for us this year as well. It's kind of living and breathing. It'll update and change, but just like the other one, you can toggle between for sale and for lease. and get the information of the realtor information, etc. So both of those are good for commercial properties, LoopNet, and then now the EDC website. And back to resources, applications for incentives. These are our local incentives. And you see there, we've got 4. One, the bottom one, was just approved this morning by the Economic Development Corporation. So that's why you see the coming soon. We're gonna write up, and it'll be there probably by the end of next week, and that is for sign improvement funds. And so we had a joint meeting with council on the 25th of September, and that was one of the things that we talked about that we thought would be helpful, again, for small businesses. And so I wrote the application, we wrote a grant agreement, it was approved this morning by the board, and so now we're just gonna keep fleshing it out and start promoting it once we get it up here. You'll see right above that is the Texas City Lamarque Chamber membership grant that we had a slide about. So you can click on that and get that application. Above that is a Business Improvement Fund grant. It's really designed for major thoroughfares, but it could be like Cedar, Bayou, etc. And it's really just a matching grant for materials to improve your curb appeal. That's something that I wrote probably a decade ago. Probably need to revisit that at some point and make sure the pricing still makes sense, but it's there, and it's an opportunity. And then the first one, the application for incentives, it's a little bit more in depth. It's a pretty straightforward, but it is a 7-page application. It asks for finance information, etc. But look through them on your own time. If you have questions about them, by all means, call me. Again, I've got cards in the back. Grab one. We're here to help and here to serve, just like Kathleen. We work very closely together. We communicate very well together. And it's because we want to benefit businesses in Lamarque. So that's all I have for now. I really appreciate your attention and time, and thank you all again for being here tonight.
So again, looking at those takeaways from that, I'll go back to how do we all connect? Y'all going, between every speaker, I'm going to do this, so y'all just get used to it. But how do you connect? I can tell you this. You heard Alex say in the very beginning of his presentation, talking about how the half-cent sales tax was created, that it was passed by the Texas legislature. That was an initiative that chambers of commerce across the state started pushing that initiative because they knew that we needed to be able to fund these organizations, those economic development corporations, to be able to provide those incentives to businesses. And so we helped push that legislation. We advocated on its behalf, and then it came into existence, as Alex was pointing out. And so again, the benefits that you can receive there, and you say, well, wait a minute, all of these things are available to you as a business owner. You're not going to, we're not going to get down. I told somebody earlier, we're going to be at about 30,000 feet tonight. Okay, we're not going to get down in the weeds, but we're going to be here to give you the resources that are available to you. So, and make sure I'm looking here right. I've got Mandy and Marielle. Are y'all up next? Are y'all ready? So, Alex and I will both tell you the same thing. These are the two ladies that make both of us look really good because they're the ones that put these websites and marketing pieces together respectively for our organization. So I'm going to turn it over to them and let them talk about our website.
My name is Mandy. I'm the Public Relations Specialist for the Lamarque Economic Development Corporation.
Oh, and I'm Marielle Miscoro. I'm with the Director of Communications with the Chamber. So
Awesome. All right, so we're going to talk to you a little bit about marketing for your business. I can tell you right now, I already see a couple of you in here that do a really good job at marketing on your Facebook pages and any other business profile that you have. The best advice I can give for starting businesses is that social media is free most of the time. Creating a business profile on any of these is free. Facebook's a good one. You can create a business profile. A lot of people are on Facebook, especially older people are on Facebook. You could try TikTok. I'm not even on the TikTok too much. So, but Instagram and LinkedIn, that's a good one.
and if you don't have social media, I do recommend at least doing 2, and that's Facebook and Instagram, because those are I think the most important. Because if you're a boutique or a store, Instagram's really great because you can connect it to your website. Same with Facebook. Everything can connect to your website and bring you more of a following per se, because that's the new thing to get new customers, is to get a following online.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
As much as we like it or hate it, social media is a thing now, and we got to get on it. So, just a couple little notes for this one. Am I on slide 2? Yeah. So it's cost-effective marketing. I went over that a little bit. You can reach a very broad audience. Think about how many people are on social media. Billions. And if you get, a really good following, that's just more eyes on your page. Those eyes and those people can share your page to get you more eyes on that page. Community building. Small businesses can use social media to build and engage with your community. So it just shows that you have a presence in the community as well. You can drive to your website, like what Marielle said. You can get feedback and marketing research. Small businesses can use surveys and polls and comments from customers to understand what they're wanting, what they want to see, what they like. And keeping your social media up to date, that's very important. Updating your hours. If you've got to close for a day, social media is a good way to tell them, hey, on Tuesday, this day, we're going to be closed for renovations. Or, hey, we're changing our hours as of next month. We're closed Mondays and Tuesdays instead of Wednesdays now.
And then on that changing, if you change your website and you don't tell anyone that you changed your website, people could still have your website saved somewhere, but just you can still change it on your link and stuff, but just promote, hey, we've changed this, check it out now, like our new site.
And Google too, right? You talked about
Yes.
Google.
And then if you sign up with Google, that way you can get like your Google Business Suite, and then you'll show up when I'm gonna pick on you again, Mandy's Closet. If I Google Mandy's Closet and you have a Google business, it'll pop up with your map, your logo, photos of your business, your location of your business, phone number, hours, everything on Google. So Google's really important because people Google everything. So
I know, I do.
Really important.
And I try to put a list together of all the businesses in La Marque. It's hard sometimes because a lot of these businesses don't update their Google, and so their phone numbers aren't up to date. You go to their Facebook, and nobody has posted since 2019, and you're like, well, are they still in business? So you don't know. So keeping all that up to date is very, very important.
Yes.
You can go to the next one. So a couple social media tips and tricks. This is mainly social media is what we're going to be talking about with marketing, since it is kind of a big thing with what we do as well. Just real quick, grammar. Grammar is a very, very important thing on social media. I see a couple posts sometimes that are misspelled. There's no punctuation. There's no capitalization. And are you taking those people seriously? Like, you're like, I can't even read that. So a good tool to use is Grammarly. I don't know if anybody has Grammarly, but there is a free version of it. And it's so easy to copy and paste what you're putting in there and paste it in Grammarly. It'll come up with, hey, you missed a punctuation here. Maybe change this to this. Here's a suggestion. Just copy and paste that to your post. Wham bam.
Yeah.
You want to go over consistency?
Yeah, so consistency is, maintain a posting schedule, regular and predictable content, keeps your audience engaged. So basically, don't post a few times and then go completely dead on social media, because then people will think your business is no more. It doesn't have to be every day. If you do once a week, twice a week, keep it up. And then I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but just be consistent, because typically if you stop, people will think your business is stopped.
Yeah, and then you can, more eyes, think about it, the more repetitive you are on posting, the more eyes are going to see your post. They're going to be like, oh, Mandy's Closet, I'm just going to keep picking on you. Yeah. You're a great example on how well you do your social media. If anybody needs a good example, go to Mandy's Closet on Facebook. She posts regularly. She posts her inventory, fun little videos. And I always see it. So it's like, and once you click on it and once you see it and get those impressions on your, say, Facebook page, it'll see that you spend more time. Facebook is so funky, I'm not gonna lie. It shows that you're spending more time on this post. It'll keep posting that. It'll keep coming up on your timeline. So just think about that with your business. And then let's see. And that's going over to visuals. Photos. Video is king. If you've seen any of the Shine On videos, you look at those. We do that for the Lamarque Facebook page, and those do really well. I mean, just grabbing, even if it's just like a slide that says visuals, like you're still gonna see it because it's colorful. It's not just words.
Yes. And then also on social media, it's a new thing. It's reels and videos. Like your algorithms nowadays, that's basically where your post shows up on anyone's Instagram or Facebook. Right now it's based on reels, and a reel will go higher than a photo post. They are a little harder to do, but they are probably worth doing, especially for small businesses, because it'll put you further up. And it can be a reel of photos. I've seen people do still photos, and then they just kind of slide like a photo slider, but it's important.
Yep. And we'll go over some things too on how to create those as well. Just easy tools you can use that are free. And then again, just telling stories, connecting with your audience on a personal and emotional level. Post reviews. If you get a good review, post it. I mean, be like, look, this person had a great experience and they found the dress they were looking for prom. Here's a picture of them. I mean, it's just showing people they may know in the community.
Yeah, testimonials are a great thing if you ever get one. There's just a new thing I know, it's called broadcast channel on Instagram. If you create a broadcast channel, you can literally connect to your people. Just one they can't respond, but you can literally be very personal on there and just be like, hey, we got a new item in store, or hey, we running a new promotion, but it goes direct, and the people can follow that and they can stay up to date constantly. However much you post.
Next one. Okay, a couple more. Engaging with your audience. You want to respond to comments and messages promptly. Foster a sense of community by interacting with followers. So if they comment and say, when are you open on Sunday? If you don't respond back, they're not going to know that you're open from 10 to 2 on Sunday. So just responding back, liking somebody's comment, it shows that you care. You want promotions and contests?
Yeah, so promotions and contests, basically promotions, but that's what you can run giveaways, contests, any promotional campaigns that you have going on, and doing that encourages engagement. It kind of goes along with our call to action, kind of, because you can do them both together. If you make a post and you say, like our post, give us a follow, tag a friend, it'll gain more people to you. And then also if you're running that promotion, everyone can see it, all your friends.
Yeah, giveaways. Wednesday is military appreciation, so military people get 10% off, that kind of thing. And that goes, like you said, into call to action, which is, if anybody's know what a call to action is, it's asking the person that's reading your post to do something. Like, follow, or share this post. You'll get more engagement on it, which will boost your post, which will get more eyes on it. Tell them to visit your website and leave a link. So always give them something to do.
Yeah, because those two go really hand in hand. I know people always say, we're giving this away, like, follow, and then they do a little drawing and that person gets picked, and then you tell them to share about it, and it gets more people to your page.
Exactly. And like I said, the more people like your page and like that post, it's going to go to the top of other people's timelines, so they will see it more. Quality over quantity. Focus on creating a high quality content rather than churning out posts. Value and relevance matter. So don't just post, hey guys, and then that's it, and then post it again in an hour, or post the same thing 2 hours from then. post good things on a consistent basis, not a lot. Not you don't want to overpower. People are going to get sick of it and they're going to unfollow you. So anything you want to add to that one? Pretty self-explanatory.
For me, I post once a day on our social medias. Sometimes a few more if I have something important I need to get out, but typically I try to say at least once a day. It's something people are hearing from us once a day at least. So yeah.
I can give an example. I used to work at San Antonio Zoo, and I worked on their in their marketing department. And we had a social media person, and they posted at least, I think their quota was supposed to be per our vice president was 5 or 6 times a day to post. And that's different. It's a big company. It's a big organization. But we saw that you only got like 1 or 2 likes per post. You know, if you post really good things, this is what we started doing, is we posted really funny videos or a really funny picture or something to get people talking, and that post got 50, 100, and then we went up to 1 million views on videos, and it just boosted and boosted. So as soon as we changed what we were posting, rather than promotions all the time, $8 local day over and over and over again, 3 times in one day, we didn't get any followers, and then all of a sudden it skyrocketed when we started posting better stuff. All right, you want to go over some Canva stuff?
So Canva, this is a program that anyone can use. You can either use it for free, or you can pay for the premium, which is highly recommended because you get a lot of cool tools in it. I believe it's $120 a year, which, to be honest, it's way
That's
worth
cheap.
it. And it's pretty cheap compared to a lot of other programs out there. It's very user-friendly. I use it on a daily basis. I know she uses it on a daily basis.
I made this slideshow with Canva.
Yes.
Like, they're templates. I mean, they have templates. Like, all I had to do is change the words.
And also the branding consistency on here. Canva is a really great tool because you can save your brand. Basically, you can save your logos, your colors, your fonts, your size of fonts, your types of fonts, all on there, and it knows you can use those tools, and you won't look like your business is all over the place, and you have like a one consistent brand. It looks clean to the other eye. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, Canva's super easy, and I know I've recommended it to a few people that have just started out, and they've tried it out and they absolutely loved it. And he used like the free version of it, and he used a template, but I mean, he had really fun with it, because a lot of people, they say that they're not good at making ads, but Canva will help you make those ads.
Yeah.
And they look good.
Definitely. And I've known of several people that have created their logos on Canva. I mean, you put in bookshop and it comes up with logos for you, and all you do is you can change the colors, you can change the font, and you've got a logo. It's got a cute little dog on it with a book in its hands, like it's super easy. It's probably the thing that I recommend the most for people to use if they're trying to create their own brand, create social media post. I mean, you can create, it has a thing in there for Facebook post. It has a thing for Facebook Reels. It has templates for videos. So you can put your videos in there and it'll put it in for you. And it'll just create this video, kind of like what TikTok does, which I know Canva way better than I know TikTok.
Yes.
That's because I'm old now, but.
Yeah. And Canva, you can use it also in conjunction with a lot of other programs. I know there's a whole bunch of things that say connect to Canva, and you can connect to Canva and you can drag your stuff over to another program if you're using any sort of email list sort of thing. A lot of them use it.
The QR codes.
And they use, Canva uses QR codes, and there's a whole bunch of different little apps within Canva that you can use. Another thing too is really cool, if y'all have handheld leaflets that y'all need to give out, you can create your flyer on Canva and order them straight through Canva, and they're really high quality. I know I've done it before, but it's all really good.
Yeah,
It is.
definitely.
We're not getting paid by Canva or anything, but it's a helpful tool for all of us, and I think
Super
it's
helpful.
a really helpful tool for any of y'all to use. There's free options for it. It's highly recommended, and it'll make your brand look really good.
Yeah, and it's very user friendly. It's for the non-tech savvy person. who I may seem like I'm tech savvy, but I'm a little bit tech savvy. But I mean, it makes it look like you know what you're doing, and that's what people want to see on your social media.
Yes. And then I think we're doing questions at the end.
Oh, we're
so
doing questions at the end, yeah.
We'll come back to that. We had a question slide, but we'll come back to that. I don't have anything.
Great. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate you very much. Take advantage of that information they're giving you. They're giving you a great tool there, and I do know that Marielle does for our office. And I know Mandy does as well. She's on Canva all the time and constantly creating stuff, and I can just about throw anything at her, and she's creating it. So using that. So everybody doing okay? Do we need to take a quick 5-minute break, or are we going to keep rolling? Everybody good? All right, just wanted to make that offer. Next is, I'm excited about this next presenter as well. Amy Reed is the director of the Galveston County Small Business Development Center. Amy actually is in our office here every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, one time a week. She's here. She sets up in the front. She sets her appointments. This is where the rubber meets the road, is the way I can put it. The resources that she's going to talk to you about, what she has available, is phenomenal, and it helps going through her and the next program you're going to hear in just a second about SBA. It helps us help you, and so I'm excited for you to hear from Amy and hear what she's got to talk about. So, Amy.
Evening, everyone. Thank you to the Texas City La Marque Chamber of Commerce and to the City of La Marque for including me in this today. I'm sorry, I guess I need to get closer to the microphone. I'm used to standing in front of a podium. Okay. So, as I said, I'm the director of the Small Business Development Center. How many of you have heard of the SBDC? Oh, that's quite a few. Great. So, all of you know that all of the services that we offer are at no cost, right? So, whether you are a startup or you're trying to grow your business, you can work with us once, you can work with us 100 times, and it never costs you a penny. So, how many of you are startups? How many of you haven't quite started yet? How many of you have been in business for more than 2 years? Generally, anything less than 2 years is considered a startup. So, more than 2 years? Okay. So, some of the things that come in when you want to work with us is strategic planning. How do I get from point A to point B? And this goes for whether you're a startup or if you're an existing business. Sometimes you have to start small. You start out of your house and then you scale up. How do you get there? We can sit down with you and help you through that process so that you have a plan for your business. Access to capital, you're going to hear from the SBA here in a little while. That's one of the ways that we help connect you with funding for your business. Another is being in the community. So I regularly am networking through the chambers of commerce and other ways to talk to lenders to find out what kind of person they want to work with, what kind of loans are they giving, where are we on our interest rates, those types of things. So when you come to me and you say, okay, Amy, I'm ready to scale up my business, but I need money to do that, I can step you through that process better because I have those connections and I can inform you before you start. Sales and marketing, you just heard from our dynamic duo back there about sales and marketing. We also help with that. One of the big things that I'm helping people with right now is AI. How can you use AI to help you with your marketing? How many of you, when you do your social media, I hope everybody in the room is doing social media for your business, how many of you don't know what to post? How many of you look at it and you're like, I know I need to post on Facebook today, but I don't know what I should post? Anybody?
If you're like most people, knowing what to post on social media is one of the hardest things. How many of you know that you can use AI to help you with content for your social media? Did you know that you can go to ChatGPT and you can put a question in like, give me 5 social media posts that I can use on Facebook that talk about my plumbing business, make them content-based and make them fun. And within about 30 seconds, ChatGPT will print out, or not print out, but it will put out that content that you can use. And then you can add on to your question and say, this is great. Can you also give me some hashtags I can use? And then within a couple seconds, it spits those out. And then you can say, oh, and by the way, which emojis would be best for these posts, and it'll spit that out. And you can use that for all different types of content posts. So if you are trying to do engagement, like maybe you're wanting to talk about DIY in a plumbing business, what are some things that you should do in the summertime for your plumbing? What are some things that you can do to winterize your plumbing? Those types of things. And these are things that ChatGPT, if you give it just a little bit of the information, can give you a lot of content, and then you can simply humanize it a little bit. It's never perfect, so you have to take that into consideration, but you can take that content and then you can put that into your social media. And did you know that you can schedule your social media posts? Did you know that you can use Meta and you can sit down? This is what I tell my clients. I tell them, give social media 2 to 4 hours a week. Sit down on a Sunday or a Monday or whatever your slow day is, where you have a little more time than other days. Schedule all of your posts in Meta. And instead of, when you do the post, instead of posting right then, schedule it. But you need to know who your target audience is. When are they on Meta? When are they on Facebook and Instagram? What do they like to see? Not everybody, if you post at midnight, most people aren't on Facebook at that time. Most people, depending on who your client base or who your target demographic is, of course. But maybe there's someone in that age range that when they first get to work, they look at it, or first thing in the morning, they look at it. So what I tell people is try a few different scheduling times and try each one for a month, like post every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at a specific time. See how that works. Look at your insights. And if you're not getting a lot of engagement, but you know you have really good content and images with that content, then maybe you should try a different time of day or a different day of the week, that type of thing. So a lot of marketing is trial and error. And you can't say, oh, I've tried it, but you've only tried it for like 3 days. You have to try it for about 3 months to really get some good insights. In addition to that, if you do schedule out your posts, the algorithms that are out there, they also want you to have organic posts. So if you are at a chamber event, take a selfie and post it and say, love being out in our community, hashtag Texas City Lamarck Chamber of Commerce, hashtag community first, those types of things, because those organic posts will also boost your algorithm and your reach for those social media. So those are the types of things that we can help with in regards to social media. And then we also help with access to capital. So if you are at the stage of your business where it's time to apply for a loan, we can help you through that process. So it can be very overwhelming to small business owners when they go to a bank and the bank gives them a lot of paperwork or a checklist and they don't understand everything. Maybe they're the best chef that's out there, but they don't understand all the business side yet. So let us help you through that process. And we also know which lenders in the area like which types of industries, what they're looking for as far as credit scores, collateral, debt ratios, that type of thing, because not all lenders are the same. So you want to make sure that when you put yourself forward into that situation, that you're not only putting your best foot forward, but you're with the lender that is going to be maybe the best fit for you at that particular time. In addition to this, one of the things that we have is market research. So if you have tried to research the competition for your business, or maybe you want to know what the industry looks like for your business, it's really hard to get a good report on that on the internet without paying a lot of money or without doing a lot of digging, a lot of different sites and that sort of thing. So we have access to a lot of different databases where we can give you these reports. And again, it costs nothing to you. All of this is provided to you at no cost. So accounting assistance is another thing that we offer, as far as if you are using QuickBooks, or maybe you're using Wave Apps, which is a great app that's out there for small business owners who are on a budget. Wave Apps is free unless you have payroll or a few other add-ons. So you can keep your books like any other business and have financial reporting, which is something we definitely recommend for your business. And we can help you set up your chart of accounts. We can help you to reconcile, how to send invoices, how to look like a big company on a small budget. And then when it comes to if you've created a product and you're trying to take that to market, we can help you through that process. Sometimes SBIR, some of the government programs are involved in that. One thing that's really important is a financial health checkup. So for those of you who have been in business for a few years, when's the last time you had someone look at your books? I'm not talking about you gave your books to your accountant for them to prepare your taxes. When is the last time that you had someone actually look at your books and look at your profit margin? How much profit are you making? Are you making a profit? Could you be making more profit? What's your overhead look like? Where's the money that you're leaving on the table? If you're running a restaurant, it could be your waste. It could be that alcohol is walking out the door and you don't realize it because you're so busy running the business that you're not looking within the business. It could be that you're paying too much for a supplier, and maybe you haven't shopped suppliers in 5 years and they keep raising their rates and you had no idea that there were other suppliers that you could look at. By the way, if you are in any kind of industry where you use suppliers, you should always have 3 suppliers that you regularly get quotes from, at least annually, if not semi-annually. It just keeps everything in line and helps you to make sure that you're staying on top of those costs. International trade, exporting and importing is a really important thing to our economy, especially the exporting. I bet a lot of y'all didn't know that farmers export our excess vegetables, like our corn and even our cotton, and those sort of things are exported to other countries, and that brings a lot of income into our country. In addition to that, you can have products that you export, and if you import, that's fine too. Exporting is just a way for us to bring a lot of revenue into our country. And lastly, Apex Accelerator is something I want to touch on. So for any of you who have ever considered doing business with the government, Apex Accelerator is a great option for you to work with. So they're just like us as far as they don't charge anything. A lot of what they do is a lot like what we do, only they take you through that process of working with the government. So there's certain certifications you may want or need to have a leg up in government contracting. You need to have registration in SAM, and not a lot of people know how to do that. You need to know what your next code is and cage code is, and I'm probably saying things that are totally foreign to you because you haven't been through this process. But just know that if you get to the point that you have something you want to sell to the government, and when I say the government, I'm talking about municipal, state, federal. So it could also be school districts. A lot of those also are looking for people from the SAM, or they have to do business with those who are minority, veteran, service disabled, veteran, those are women-owned, those types of businesses, they're required to get quotes from vendors who have that certification. So Apex Accelerator is located in Houston, and they are a great group to work with. Just so you know, we have 13 centers, anywhere from College Station all the way down here to Bolivar, and then over to as far as Lake Jackson, Fort Bend, and then out to almost to the Louisiana border. So not only that, the SBDC is nationwide. So if you start a business here and you move to Utah, why would you want to do that? But if you did, if you move to somewhere else in the country, you could just pick up with another SBDC. And like I said, we all offer our services at no cost. We do have a lot of online webinars and a lot of in-person classes that we offer. Some of those in-person classes do have a small nominal fee, but we offer all of our on-demand through our website is at no charge to you. And you can learn anything from marketing tips to bookkeeping, human resources, how to do business with the government, how to export, commercialization. Just about anything is available on our on-demand. And our mission, like I said, our mission is to help grow the economy through small business. So one small business at a time. If you hire someone and that's one job, then you're helping to grow the economy. If you get a loan, you're helping to put money into the economy. So that's what we are here to do. How do we do this at no cost? We are federally funded through the support of the Small Business Administration, also known as the SBA. We're also a resource partner of the SBA. And then also my particular center is supported through state funds from the University of Houston. Most SBDCs are connected to a higher ed. And that moves us into just 5 quick things about business plans. So a business plan, how many of you have a business plan? So everyone who is in business or about to start a business should have a business plan, because anytime you put something in writing, you're more likely to succeed. And it's a map. It's a map for your business, right? It talks about your goals. It talks about where you are now. It talks about where you want to be, where you want to go. Who are the people that are going to go with you? So a business plan is extremely important. So if you're having a business plan because it's time to apply for a loan, you have to have a business plan when you apply for a business loan. So one of the most important parts there is the executive summary. So the executive summary is the hook. This is what makes that lender want to dig in to your business plan, to read more. Does anyone know how many seconds you have to make an impression on someone? 3. You have 3 seconds to make an impression. Think about the executive summary as that 3 seconds to hook that lender or an investor to read more of your business plan. Also, really important in the business plan is your market research. So what I was talking about earlier, those competitive reports, those industry reports, you have to show, why is this a good time for me to start this business? Why am I a good risk? And then who's your target demographic? So if first time I meet with someone and we start talking about their business, one of the things I always ask is, who's your target customer? And does anybody know what people generally say is their target customer? They usually say everybody, but that's not really it. You'll sell to everybody. You'll do business with everybody, but your target, you have to dig a little deeper. What do they look like? What's that persona? Are they a male or are they female? Are they 20, 30, 40, 50? Do they rent or do they own? Are they educated? What do they like to do? Where do they work? Where do they live? There's all these things. Are they married? Do they have kids, right? So the more you know about your target, when we're talking about marketing and marketing budgets and that sort of thing, your marketing budget is only so big. So the more you know about your target, the farther that marketing budget will reach. So instead of throwing out a net to just anybody to buy from you, you actually end up creating a sales funnel. So it's really important to be able to dig into that persona, and that is part of your business plan as well. And then your management profile is extremely important. So why you? Why are you a good risk? Or why is your CEO a good risk? Or why is your wife, who's going to be doing the bookkeeping, a good risk? This is where the one time that it's really good to talk yourself up. So you would basically just take some things off your resume and apply it to this business. So like say you were in sales forever, right? Retail or something. And number one thing when you're in retail sales, we all know the number one trait and skill that you need for that is customer service, right? So how would that customer service that you had years developing and that you perfected pertain to, say, a food truck, right? We all have eaten at food trucks, so we know how important customer service is, right? Even if it's going to take a minute for my food to come out, give me a big smile, make me feel good about it, and that is important. So those are some really important things that go into a business plan. You have to have a marketing plan. You have to have a marketing budget. Without those, it's just not as effective. And just some common mistakes with a business plan is basically not having one. If you don't have a written goal for your business, the chance of your business being successful goes down dramatically. So just have a plan, even if it's a one-page business plan called a lean plan. Or if you're a visual person, there's something called business model canvas. So just to recap that, you can do a lean plan that's one page. You can do business model canvas that is basically 2 pages, and it visually has step-by-steps that are written out. And you can find all this on Google if you want to look it up, or you can become a client of the SBDC and I can help you through that. Or you can do a full-blown business plan that's no more than 10 pages. So have that plan. It's definitely a good tool for your business. And then being unrealistic. So one thing that's my job is to always tell the truth. So even if it's not something you want to hear, I try to find a way to say it. I don't want to crush anyone's dreams, but if you come to me and you tell me this grand plan and I just can't see it, I'm going to tell you I just can't see it, and I'm going to tell you why I can't see it, and then maybe you can turn me around, or I'm going to say, okay, let's see where we can work with this and let's see how this turns out. But I'm not going to tell you to invest a bunch of money into something that I'm worried that you're going to lose your money, that sort of thing. So being unrealistic in your business plan can actually hurt you. So I will always tell you that. Poor executive summary. If you don't have that hook, if you don't get them to read more, that's definitely a mistake. Having it too long, you don't want to go past 10 pages. Remember that 3 seconds that we talked about earlier? Nobody wants to read more than 10 pages. The lenders, you need to get to the meat. You need to get your point across and say what needs to be said. And then not talking about your team and your role, how you are going to be a part of that. Because remember, we have to alleviate that risk in a business plan. And then not including that marketing research. So for those of you who want a copy of this presentation, you can scan this QR code. And then also, if you'd like to become a client of the Galveston County SBDC, we have a QR code for that. We also have QR codes for our region, for our workshops and those types of things. And just as a reminder, I office at the Marmo in Galveston on Mondays, the Texas City La Marque Chamber on Tuesdays, and in League City the rest of the week. So we are by appointment only, so if you would like to meet with me, you just have to become a client and then schedule a time. Thank you so much.
I've had the opportunity to work with SBDC. I told y'all about my medical equipment business that I started years ago. One of the first conversations I had was with an SBDC counselor, and it saved me a lot of time, a lot of headache, a lot of money. It saved me a lot of waste of money. What I love about Amy is she said it. She's going to be truthful with you. Sometimes you may not really like what she says when she says it, but after you go home and you think about it, you're going to be, wow, I'm really glad she told me that. So great resource. Take advantage of Amy. And now we're going to, before we get to the Q&A, we got another really good presentation and someone that knows a lot about business. It's Mark Winchester, who is the Deputy District Director for the Houston District Office of the U.S. Small Business Administration. Everybody knows it as SBA. Mark?
Thank you. Thank you. This to the side. You know, before I get started here, just want to, I want to thank Mr. Tim Culp. Thank you for inviting SBA, and also Alex, Mr. Alex Getty. Thank you so much, Alex. And I also have to thank Amy Reed. Where are you, Amy? You're back there with the phone. So, Amy, thank you so much for inviting me. My name is Mark Winchester. I'm the Deputy Director of the United States Small Business Administration. And just a little bit about me. I have 20 years of federal service, 20 years of economic development. I am a Gulf War veteran. I really appreciated the flag up here, and then also this frame with the flag of the United States. So do we have any other veterans besides myself? Thank you so much. Really appreciate your service, and I'd be remiss if I didn't also recognize the Mayor Bell. Thank you for being here tonight. So I'm here to talk about SBA, and next slide, please. Yeah, if you could control, yeah, that would be great. And you know what? You know, before I get started, I just want to share one thing. Well, actually, maybe two things, but I wanted to comment on Mandy and Marielle. Mandy and Marielle talked about social media. I want you to write this down. There's, and they're so right. There is a gentleman. His name is Sean Warner. So what it was there was this this writer, he wrote his first book ever, and it was in Arlington. Did anybody else hear that story besides me? Okay, so anyways, this fictional writer wrote a book. He was in a bookstore. He had all these books behind him, and there was no one there at the book signing. And so there was a gentleman, content creator, his name was Red, and he felt so bad for Mr. Sean Warner that he put the story of Sean Warner on TikTok, and overnight he became an Amazon writer sensation, and over 17 million people have viewed his story. So this gentleman was in a store, there was clothing behind him, he had a stack of books, no one was in line, and this Red felt so much compassion for this gentleman that he posted a video. It went viral on TikTok, 17 million views, and became an Amazon writer sensation. So I really just appreciated what Mandy and Marielle talked about social media and what the impact it is. So now I'll go to SBA, but I just had to tell that story because it can make a difference for your business. So SBA is a federal agency, and it was created in 1953. SBA's mission is to make the American dream of business ownership a reality, and they do that by helping small businesses start, grow, expand, and recover. Next slide, please. So want to let you know there are 68 district offices across the country. There are 6 district offices in Texas. You have the Houston district office, and we cover 32 counties. Next slide, please. You know, to utilize SBA services, you need to be a small business. 99% of all businesses are small. And there's really 2 measurements to determine whether a small business is small. Either you have 1,500 employees or 47 million in sales. And as long as you're below that number, you're considered small. Now, I liked Amy. She took several polls there. She talked about business plans. Let me ask you, how many of you know your NAICS code? Raise your hand if you know your NAICS code. We have one individual, so you need to get with Amy to get to know your NAICS code for your businesses. Number 1, to make sure you're small, and number 2, you need to utilize that NAICS code to benchmark. Who can tell me what benchmark means? Anyone? So benchmark is comparing yourself to the rest of the industry. How can you measure how you're progressing if you don't know where you are or where you need to go? So you need to know your NAICS code so you can know where you stand compared to similar businesses in your industry. NAICS, it's a 6-digit code, and Amy can assist with that. Next slide, please. So now you know everything about SBA. There are 4 components: counseling, capital, contracting, and crisis, and I'm going to briefly cover each. Next slide, please. So Amy did an outstanding job. The bottom line here is you don't have to go it alone. There were several of you that raised your hand that you're a starting business, you're a nascent business, you're thinking about starting a business. You don't have to go it alone. There are over 1,400 partners nationwide. Right here in Houston, there are over 200 advisors. 200 advisors that can work with you on your business, either mentoring your business or provide business counseling. And if you want to know where those 200 advisors are, just visit sba.gov/local assistance. Next slide, please. SCORE. I just want to briefly talk about SCORE. How many of you, there was like 3 or 4 of you that are business owners. Those of you who are business owners, how many have a mentor? Raise your hand if you have a mentor. Oh, that's outstanding. That is outstanding. So what it is whether you're a startup business or an existing business, you need to have a mentor. And the first place to look, I would say, is your family and friends, those in your industry. But if you don't have a family or friend or those in the industry that can mentor you, the SCORE is a great place great resource for mentors. Here in Houston, they have I need to be precise here. They have 160 mentors. They have 130 advisors. They have expertise in 63 industries. And as Amy shared, it's at no cost and it's confidential. And it's like having an ex officio board. Ex officio is just a fancy term. They're volunteers and they can advise you. It's like having your own board. You need to have a mentor. I thought Amy did an outstanding job on SBDC, just outstanding. Everything she talked about, from strategic planning to business planning to financial ratios. I like to ask, how many of you had a financial tune-up? Raise your hand. If you've had, you get your car tuned up. Have you ever had a financial tune-up? Raise your hand. There's one. You need to get connected with Amy and do a financial tune-up. Amy will look at your financial statements, your income sheet, your balance sheet, your cash flow sheet. She will look at your NAICS code. She will look at your financial ratios. You need a financial tune-up. Another thing that I like about the SBDC is the vast array of information you can get from the SBDC on market research. They have a clearinghouse, SBDC.net. SBDC.net. You can get customized business plans. You can get demographic information. You can get just a SWOT analysis. Who can tell me what SWOT stands for? Anyone? Yeah, the gentleman with a jacket and tie like myself. Your first name?
Caesar. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Yes, you need to know your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat. And Amy and the SBDC net, you can get customized market research, including SWOT analysis. Women business centers, ladies, there are 137 women business centers across the country, and Houston has two, the WBEA Women's Business Center and the Greater Houston Women's Chamber Women's Business Center. And obviously, ladies, for the WBC, they primarily counsel ladies. And the WBEA, 750 women-owned businesses who do business with corporations. The Greater Houston Women's Chamber, they have an event monthly called Golden Seeds. If you want equity investment into your business, the Greater Houston Women's Chamber Women's Business Center, it's ladies investing in women-owned businesses. So ladies investing in ladies. And that's with the Women's Business Center. Next slide, please. Thank you, Marielle, so much. The impact right here in Houston, Amy Reed and the SBDC SCORE and Women's Business Center, 29,000 assisted. There's no reason that one of you should not be leveraging the SBDC and the resources and that lady right back there, Amy Reed. Next slide, please. And if you can't tell, I get a little excited about this. Capital. There's a saying that SCORE shares, we are with you for the life of your business. Well, with SBA, we are with you regarding capital for the life of your business. I was sharing with Amy, I was at a micro loan fair. And so these were micro lenders who offer, Tim, they offer from $100 to $500, $1,000, $10,000, $15,000. All the way up to $50,000. I bet you didn't know that the Bayou Micro Fund offers microloans at 0% interest. Did you know that? Who in the world offers a 0% interest rate? The Bayou Micro Fund has $50,000 to lend in micro lending for small businesses at a 0% interest rate. So my point is, no matter where you are, whether you're a micro enterprise, whether you're like Mandy with the clothing store, or no matter where you are, there's capital for you from $100. We go all the way up to $13,750,000. Alex was talking about properties on LoopNet and identifying, acquiring property. Well, we have capital to assist Alex clients to either retain or grow, or so we can help you. Next slide, please. I I want you to write this down. SBA's main program is the 7A program. I gotta put this bottle down or I'm gonna spill it. SBA's main program is the 7A program. And the 7A program, I call it the Swiss Army knife because you can use it to start leasehold improvements, working capital, purchase and renovate your facility. Alex was talking about renovation, sheetrock, lighting. We have funds for that. Inventory, land and building, and even exporting. Did you know that 96% of the purchase power is outside of the United States? You know that you have opportunity not only here but abroad, and we can help you with that. Next slide, please. Right here, FY 2022, we had, I think it was around, there it is, 1.1 billion. And this year, $1.2 billion. $1.2 billion. And a lot of that is due to folks like Amy Reed who work with you, that work with you, business plan. Do you have, I call it the go or no go. Is your business viable? Is it going to be sustainable? And if it is, how can you grow that business? And if you're going to grow it, you're going to need capital. And Amy is the person to see. Next slide, please. Federal contracting. The federal government spends 700, not million, I got to get this right, $700 billion, the federal government. Federal agencies are required by law to provide contract opportunities for small business. If you want to learn more about contracting, go to sba.gov/contracting. Next slide, please. So SBA, we have programs including 8A, Hub Zone, Women Owned, and Veteran. The veterans in the room, we have a certification just for veteran-owned small businesses to do business with the federal government. And I want you to write these down there. I call it the 80-20 rule. It's the 20% that are really taking the notes here. And those of you who are the 20 that are initiative, that are showing initiative and taking notes, you're going to write down there are sole source and set-asides. Sole source and set-asides. Sole source is non-competitive contracts. SBA has non-competitive contracts. Right here in Houston, Tim, $66 million in sole source contracts. It'd be, Tim, let's say you're a business owner, you're an 8A firm, and let's say, I don't know, USDA. USDA, Tim, will call SBA and say, Mark, we know that Tim is an 8A firm, and we know that Tim has logistics. He provides logistics. We need help with logistics. We want to do business with Tim, and it's nobody else. It's sole source. And then I contact Tim. Tim, USDA just contacted us. You're an 8A firm. They'd like to do business with you. Do you think you have the resources to do this project? If so, you'll get awarded that sole source contracts. And that's what SBA has, sole source contracts. We also have set aside contracts. Ladies, women-owned businesses, I like to get this straight. Over $200 million in contracts to women-owned small businesses, and there are opportunities for sole source and set-aside contracts. Okay, next slide. And Amy already talked about it. The SBDC is the host for the Apex Accelerator. I call it the 3 R's. Research, register, respond. Research, register, and respond. And the Apex can help you, whether it's federal, state, local, or corporate contracting, the Apex can help you. Next slide, please. Yeah, these are the numbers right here. Well, I can see it from up here, but 200 million for women-owned. For those of you that are in business, you may be sitting in a hub zone right now, and there are opportunities for set-aside contracts as a hub zone firm. SDB, small disadvantaged business, nearly 400 million. And for the veterans, veteran and service disabled veteran, 200 million in contracts. Next slide, please. Thank you. So we're on the final C here. We've talked about capital, contracting, counseling, and the fourth one is crisis, and Amy did a good job. The bottom line here, Tim, every time I speak, I share this is an important statistic. 40% of all businesses that close after a disaster never reopen. You do not want to be one of the 4 out of 10 that do not reopen. And so we talked about a business plan, you need to have a COOP plan. And Amy can help you with that continuity of operations plan. And if you want more information, you can go to sba.gov/prepare. Next slide, please. But if you don't prepare, if you don't have a COOP plan, we do have disaster loans. We have personal property, Tim, just went up to $100,000. Previously, we had a disaster loan for personal property for $40,000. It's now up to $100,000. If you own your own home, SBA has a disaster. These aren't grants. I need to clarify. These are not grants. These are loans. We have up to $500,000 now. It used to be $200,000, Alex, but it's now $500,000 for homeowners, for the residents in a disaster loan. And business owners, we do have up to $2 million in loan assistance, either property damage or working capital. Next slide, please. You know, Amy, I was reviewing my slides before coming up here. Texas City, Marque Chamber of Commerce, you could be in National Small Business Week. Every year since 1963, SBA has celebrated small business success. Mayor Bell talked about the importance and significance of small business, and we celebrate that every year, first week in May. And we would like for Texas City, Marque, nominate some businesses for National Small Business Week in May. And so we're right now, Alex and Tim, we're accepting nominations for Small Business Person of the Year, Small Business Exporter, Minority-Owned Business, Veteran-Owned Business, Women-Owned Business, Rural Small Business, Innovation. And Alex and Tim, we also have Small Business Community Partner of the Year, or Small Business, Marielle and Mandy, we also have Small Business Media Advocate of the Year as well. And Texas City, Marque Chamber, every week we're giving a presentation on how you can nominate your business to celebrate the National Celebration for Small Businesses. Next slide, please. This is our contact information. Every resource that we talked about, it's right there. One more slide. Like Amy, we've gone to these QRC codes, and you can just use your smartphone and get the information. And this concludes my slides and presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mark. That was exciting. I thought I had a lot of energy, and typically I'm told that I'm the one. Mark just trumped me. That's impressive. So, well, we are kind of in that Q&A point, and we're actually right on time clockwise. We're looking at the clock, so we're doing well there. I just want to start off and say this. I mentioned earlier when I started my conversation the fact that I was in business myself. I was much like each and every one of you in this room. What I can tell you is I took advantage at that point in time, at some point in time with my small business, I took advantage of a lot of the programs that have been talked about tonight. The 7A program that Mark mentioned earlier, visiting with my SBDC advisor, I was one of the first 7A programs that ever took place in Houston County, back where I used to live. Took advantage of that. It was a great resource for me to be able to have access to those funds at a low interest rate. To be able to sit down again with my SBDC advisor and go over that business plan. It sounds harsh sometimes when we say that, but we want you to understand the importance of having that information. That's what's going to make you successful. And then you're just able to move up the chain. You're able to sit down with Alex, and you're able to sit down with his group and visit about the potential of growing your business within Lamarque. Then you're able to come and visit with the chamber and participate with us and let us help you make those connections to the people that you need. we've been at that 30,000 foot view right now. There's a lot of detail of getting into the weeds that we want to help you do. I just want to say again, before we get to the Q&A, thank you again, Mayor Bell, for this initiative and your desire to have this and put this together, and making sure that we all as a group came together and formed this. We hope that it's been beneficial to you.